Sambaza furaha. Hii Christmas, pata deals na offers from Safaricom ili upate furaha ya kupiga stori za mwaka. Sambaza furaha this Christmas na Safaricom.
Well, hello there. It's Tuesday, the 19th of December, 2023. Thank you so much for joining us. It's now time for Science TV Prime News. This is Chris MWOLOLO. I'm happy to be back. And on sign language interpretation is Gideon Minor, ready to tell you what's happening in the world of news and in the world of sports as in the broadcast. So straight to our top stories this evening. We begin in Kakamega, where the Kakamega County government has partnered with the Universal Peace Federation to issue assistive devices to 100 persons with disabilities. The assistive devices were issued during an event organized to commemorate the International Day of Persons with Disabilities that is always marked on the 3rd of December every year. The Universal Peace Federation donated about 80 modern tricycles which are connected with coolants to enable persons with disabilities do businesses and earn a living while they use the devices. While gracing the occasion, Kakamega Governor Fernandez Barasa announced that the county government will also establish a special fund for the caregivers of the Pwds for a critical role they play in supporting them. Listen.
Tuko kitu kimoja. Nitaendelea kuwasaidia. Mwaka uliopita mnajua tulipatiana vifaa kwa watu 300 kule Matete, na leo tunapatiana kwa ndugu zetu walemavu 100, na hiyo itakuwa mtindo wa kila mwaka ujao, kwa sababu tuko na committee hapa. Tutaendelea kusaidia ndugu zetu na dada zetu walemavu ili muweze kuwa na easy movements. Na mambo ya accessibility, vile chief officer Masaho umesema, I've already given direction. Na najua tuko na chief officer hapa wa public works and infrastructure ambaye ni Bwana Otenyo. Tuko pia na mawaziri hapa ambao wanahusika in all the building approvals. Lazima mujali maslahi ya walemavu. That is a directive nilipatiana, na pia naendelea kusisitiza. Tumewatengea specific allocation kwa ndugu zetu ambao wanaishi na ulemavu, na mimi ningependa kuhimiza walemavu wote, kama hujasajili kampuni, please register. Alafu tukiwa na tenders, we want to give you economic empowerment. Kwa sababu mimi najua walemavu wengi ambao wako hapa, bora mpewe nafasi, you can deliver. Mmefanya kazi nzuri. Kuna kazi tulipatiana kule Shibwe Hospital ya fencing, ilifanya na mlemavu. It was done very excellent. Wapigie makofi. Najua wako hapa ambao walifanya hiyo kazi. Na pia tuko na kazi tofauti ambazo nimetegea walemavu. You are going to be given an opportunity. Kwa mambo ya basari nimesema wazi, mwezi ujao we must identify wale ambao wanaweza kusaidia ndugu zetu na dada zetu kupitia kwa hii committee, so that all those vulnerable kids ambao ni walemavu wapewe nafasi kwa bursaries, because tumeongeza kutoka shilingi milioni 2 hadi milioni 4. Na hiyo ilikuwa kwa sababu tunajua walemavu wamekuwa wametengwa sana, walemavu wamekuwa wamedharauliwa, lakini mimi nataka kuhakikishia kwamba maslahi yenu kama walemavu tutaipatia.
Kakamega tuko na shule maalum pekee Kenya mzima ya autism kule Mumias, lakini shule hiyo ni lazima ijengwe, ipate kiwanja, ipewe vifaa, watoto waweze kushughulikiwa. Ukiangalia katika familia nyingi hapa Kenya, tuko na watoto ambao wako na hiyo changamoto na wanaweza kushughulikiwa wakiwa katika shule. Tuko na walimu ambao wamesomea hao watoto. Kwa hivyo tunataka kutoa wasia kwa magavana wote wajaribu include hiyo special needs katika ECD zao ili watoto washughulikiwe waweke katika shule za chekechea, na wahakikishe wanachukua walimu ambao wamesomea kukua katika hiyo special needs.
Na my appeal to the beneficiaries, well, tricycles, mumeona zimewekwa coolers. Those are one of the areas that we are encouraging for you to get that money.
President Rigathi Gachagua has asked the newly appointed envoys to prioritize expanding the export market for Kenya's produce for maximum economic gain. Speaking when he hosted more than 40 new ambassadors, consuls, generals, high commissioners, and deputy heads of mission at the official residence in Karen, that's in Nairobi, Mr. Gachagua said that the Ruto's administration is supporting crop production alongside reforms in key sectors to boost the economy, and the envoys must ensure they align. Gachagua told the envoys to plan on expanding trade opportunities, increasing direct investment, and seeking bilateral labor agreements for more jobs for the Kenyans abroad, adding that their performance would be evaluated on the economic gains to the country. Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi echoed these sentiments, highlighting Kenya's growing global interest. He encouraged the envoys to capitalize on this momentum for the country's economic benefit.
Despite the fact that we have the best tourism products in this continent, we are not doing as well as we should be. And it's all about we haven't done enough. I know people feel the tourism board is not doing enough. Maybe we are not giving it enough attention in terms of marketing our destination. But it starts with you. It is you to initiate the action, and then we can be able to follow from here. We want you people to take the lead in marketing our country as a tourism destination. The Masai Mara is the 8th wonder of the world, but we are not getting as many tourists as we should be. We have Aboseli, we have the Safo, we have the Mount Kenya, the Meru National Park, but we are not yet there. We have the exotic beaches at the Kenyan coast, but we are not yet there. So it's important that even as you settle, you must come up with a program on how to market our tourism. You know, the president deliberately, in keeping his promise to the diaspora community, created the State Department for Diaspora Affairs under Roslyn Njogu. You have a lot to do in making sure that our people in those countries are taken care of and they are encouraged to invest back home. And you use them as a resource to help you in your leadership in the country that you are in. Kenyans are very resourceful people. And anytime I have traveled, I have met Kenyans in the country that I've traveled, and when you listen to them, you really appreciate the value of talking to them. Talk to the people of Kenya who reside there. They'll help you because they know, they understand that country, they understand the opportunities, they understand the people, they understand the traditions. You can never go wrong by engaging your countrymen in the country you are serving. Create time and engage them. And they'll be able to help you through to settle down as quickly as possible, and also help you understanding that country and the opportunities that are available. Again, on the issue of labor migration, it's a low-hanging fruit for this administration. There are many opportunities out there for our Kenyan people. Luckily for us, we are good in matters work ethics. The people of Kenya are good workers, and they are appreciated across the world. please let us pursue relentlessly labor migration agreements and mechanisms of how we can create opportunities for our people. We have 6 million unemployed people, young people in this country. And I'm sure if you guys put your might to it in the proper way, there is great and huge opportunity for our people to get employment opportunities, and you create good frameworks so that these people are treated with dignity and they are not exploited or dehumanized.
Now, in the aftermath of President Ruto's controversial remarks at a church fundraiser in Mosocho, Busia Senator Okiya Omtata sought to file a formal complaint against the president. However, his attempt was reportedly thwarted by police officers in Nyanchwa, Kisii County, after he was referred there by officers from Mosocho Police Station in Kitutu Churches South. According to Omtata, Ruto targeted him and others in a bid to thwart his policies during a church function at Cardinal High School, Mosocho, where he conducted a fundraiser. During the fundraiser, the president vowed to deal with cartels sabotaging his legacy projects.
I might record a statement. I went at an OP, and I'm getting an OCPD who is trying to bully me, that he cannot respect the Constitution. So he said he will not report my statement. I'll proceed to make sure my statement is recorded. My complaint is that when the president was in Mosocho the other day, he issued a death threat to a group of people, including myself. So I'm personally concerned about that, and I came here to record to file a complaint. I've already recorded an OB number in Mosocho Police Station. They referred me to come and record a statement, but the OSPD has dismissed me, says the Constitution does not matter and whatever it is. What I know is that the president is protected from prosecution in court. He's not protected from being investigated for criminal utterances, a record that can be used against him after he leaves office. So that's what I'm looking for, to be able to record this issue and to be able to deal with the president according to the law, the way it is. He cannot call me a Mkora. He cannot say he's going to slash me down and others down. That's a death threat. He doesn't have that power. That's the power. He's not immune from the law. Yeah, President was telling me for going to court. We go to court, we challenge some of his policies successfully, and now he's angry. And he doesn't want people to go to court. What does he want people to do? To go to the bush? We're not going to go to the bush, we're going to go to the court. He says he cannot be stopped. The only way he cannot be stopped is if he operates within the law. If he operates outside the law, he'll be stopped. Well, we are challenging his Finance Act. And among the issues that were in the Finance Act was the issue of the housing levy. And he says people are challenging the housing levy, he's going to use the sword he was given in here to slash them down. Which means he's going to use the military forces to bring, to do what? To kill people. And then anybody saying he's going to kill people, he said he's not for cutting vegetables, it's for cutting people like us. And he calls that crooks. I'm not a crook. If anything, I have a cleaner record than he has in terms of public affairs. So he cannot call me a crook. So that's where we are going.
Now, viewer, to some unbelievable news here. Despite the government's promise to free Kenya from the debt trap, Kenya borrowed over 1.4 trillion shillings between December last year and September this year, which is an increase of 14.6% in the public debt. This is according to the Institute of Social Accountability, TISA, which today held an event to discuss the state of the economy at the Bomas of Kenya in Nairobi. The institute also criticized the government for relying too much on taxation instead of focusing on strategies to grow the economy. The event, with the slogan "Save the Economy," aims to propose effective methods of combating the burden of public debt and the importance of accountability in the use of funds.
30th September 2023, public debt accumulation stood at 10.3 trillion. Out of this 10.5 trillion, 5.6 trillion, representing 53%, represent foreign debt. 4.9 trillion, representing 47%, represent domestic debt. Whereas the current regime came to power with the belief and hope that they will stop all forms of borrowing, we realized that between December 2022 and September 2023 alone, we've borrowed more than 1.4 trillion, representing a 14.6% growth in public debt.
Anytime you hear a cabinet secretary of finance has come forward and has announced that we now have a higher budget than last year, go and mourn, because it means you have a higher debt to pay and ultimately higher fees and tax to pay.
My prayer is that we will be moving with an outcome of this meeting that can be owned and will make people sit and listen. Ideally, force them to sit and listen. But we can only force people to sit and listen if we remind them about 2027 and tell them we are waiting. But even so, 2027 is too far. We may not be alive to vote because of the challenges that we are seeing.
Indeed, this economy needs to be saved. With that story, we are going to take a short break right here on Science TV Prime News. We are coming back with more news after this break. Keep it right here.
Science Prime, brought to you by Safari.
Krisi ni time ya kusambaza furaha. Hii Christmas, pata deals na offers from Safaricom ili upate furaha ya kupiga stori za mwaka. Sambaza furaha.
Milango haifai kufunga fursa. Inapaswa kuwa njia ya watu kuendelea. Wacha tutumie maoni yetu kama funguo za kufungua usawa kwa watu wote. Wacha tukusanye umbali kwa kuunganisha zamani zetu na mustakabali bora. Wacha tufungue milango mikubwa kwa midogo. Kuunganisha maisha ya awali na bora yajayo. Wacha tufungue upeo mpya na mikataba bora zaidi. Na hii itafanya maendeleo kuwa ya kweli kwa kila mtu, kila mahali, kila wakati. Wacha tufungue milango kwa watu, kwa ubora.
KCB ni yetu. KCB ni yangu. KCB is mine.
KCB ni yetu. For people, for better.
Science Prime, brought to you by Safari.
Krisi ni time ya kusambaza furaha. Hii Christmas, Pata deals na offers from Safaricom ili upate furaha kupiga stori za mwaka. Sambaza furaha this Christmas na Safaricom.
Right, welcome back. Many thanks for staying with us. We now proceed to the remaining stories. The Competition Authority of Kenya, CAK, has fined Carrefour, a French retail chain with outlets in Nairobi and key towns, 1.1 billion shillings for abuse of bargaining power. CAK said in a statement Tuesday that the outlet abused its buyer power over two of its suppliers, that's Pwds Oil Products Limited and Woodlands Company Limited. Woodlands presented a complaint to the authority in December 2022, alleging that between 2021 and late 2022, the retailer contravened Section 24A1 of the Competition Act. The complainant argued that Carrefour's conduct unfairly reduced its returns and profitability, thereby affecting its ability to remain competitive in the market. Carrefour also faced a complaint over its handling of Pwds Oil's products, including edible oil and fats, skincare products, and washing soap.
Conduct in question is actually a significant player in the retail space, and the authority has found them guilty of disfranchising two manufacturers in that space. And one of the manufacturers is actually a producer. They produce honey out of Kitui County. And the objective here is to ensure that all players play within the rules and do not abuse buyer power. If we are going to achieve the economic targets that have been set out for us in this country, we have to ensure that all players play within the rules. And I hope that the penalty that is being announced today by the
particular matter is whenever the retailer opens up outlets in other places, they were required to provide cartons and also employees to manage the shelf, which the supplier meet all the costs on behalf of the retailer. And also there are instances where we have found that those costs actually substantially contribute to eating on the profit of the suppliers. There are back-end production which are also required. If there are termination of that contract and also delayed payments on the part of the retailer to the supplier, then we do see that there's a lot of cost element that we were able to penalize the Carrefour on each account, 500 plus million in this particular instance. Besides the amount that were penalized on this retailer, we also found that there were cases of rebates that we compel the retailer to refund the supplier to the retailers. So there are a number of evidence that we have found, and as chairman has indicated, we do find SMEs, who are largest proportion of the suppliers, are really infringed by this retailer. And therefore we do find that despite their contribution, and also SMEs being one of the key agenda of the government today, there's a lot of infringement by the retailer on the part of the suppliers, and therefore we do find very clear evidence why we are penalizing this form, and also the cost related is very unique in this particular case compared to other penalties we have imposed, both in terms of the back-end production that's required in the event of termination of contract by the retailer.
This matter was concluded in the same way as Woodlands. Of course, the circumstances are different, and so the considerations were different. But suffice it to say that there was a determination that a penalty be imposed, as well as certain other requirements on the retailer, including a behavioral remedy that a requirement that they amend their supply contracts. And so just to reiterate that due process has been followed in this matter, as in all matters that are under investigation by the authority, and we have arrived at today's determination with a very keen eye on due process.
Now lastly, nursery school teachers in Nandi County have officially launched a new union at the Disese Education Institute in Kapsabet to help them advocate for their interests. The union, known as Kenya National Union of Pre-Primary Education Teachers, KNUPET, is a wake-up call for those teachers who are not previously in a teachers' union. The teachers, led by the union's national chairman, Lawrence Otunga, called on the Council of Governors to help equalize the salaries of the nursery school teachers in the counties. In his speech, Otunga said the union will work to improve the welfare of kindergarten teachers in Kenya. He said that the teachers are underpaid and overworked, and that they need a strong voice to advocate for their rights. Right, that's it for the news updates. My producer George, you can play the sports montage as we get to know what's happening. Inga said the union will work to improve the welfare of kindergarten teachers in Kenya. He said that the teachers are underpaid and overworked, and that they need a strong voice